and gents, I am the one and only DJ Storms. I would like to welcome each and every single one of you back here to the channel on YouTube.com, as of course it is Saturday, August 15th, 2020. And we got a new format, got a new setup here for the Lightning Flash Update. Yes. Every single Saturday, Lightning Flash Update will premiere at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Every single Saturday, except when there's a pay-per-view, whether it be an NXT Takeover, an AEW pay-per-view, a WWE special event, whatever it may be. If there is a pay-per-view on Saturday, I will be going live. And I actually do have some announcements on that, because I will be going live next week at 1 p.m. for the Lightning Flash Update. But we have a loaded Lightning Flash Update to go over. We got 6 weekly shows, including a lot of news, rumors, and reports, as we sit just 1 week away from SummerSlam 2020, and then we got Payback immediately after SummerSlam, even though I don't know why, but we're going to go over that. We're going to go over the plans for Payback and how everything's in disarray. We do got some news on Retribution as well. We got some news on when the next takeover is going to be and why I think they're doing it so soon, which we'll get into in just a little bit. But as you can see by the thumbnail, we will start out with Rollins and how he is just an absolute moron in every sense of the word. We are coming to a point where Seth Rollins, every single time he is interviewed, the guy doesn't even spew opinions. The guy is just spewing pure idiocy at this rate. Nothing that comes out of Seth Rollins' mouth as far as wrestling-related material goes when it comes to the fans. Nothing that he says is an opinion. It's just pure idiocy. But we will go over that. We got a lot of shit to talk about here on the Lightning Flash Update. I appreciate each and every single one of you who are currently watching right now. Keep the chat alive. A few things before we get started. Please follow me on Twitter at HistoryMakerDJS. And follow me on Instagram and Periscope at TheDJStorms. Add me on Facebook. For collaborations and business inquiries, please send me an email. My email is stormstakeover@gmail.com. Like the official DJ Storms business page, and I may just send you an invite to join the official DJ Storms Posse group on Facebook, that is. All the links are in the description. I would like to thank each and every single one of you who made the Lightning Flash Update from last week a huge success. That's over 30 likes right now. I greatly appreciate it. That was doing great. Brand business, man. Brand business is booming. It's booming. I would like to thank each and every single one of you who listened to Apron Bump Podcast, where me and the hardest part of the ring, yes, that is the co-host, or the host, rather, of Apron Bump Podcast, we talked about Judgment Day 2001. I would like to thank each and every single one of you who listened to that one. Here's what I need you guys to do. I need you guys to like the video. If you haven't already done so, I don't know why you're here if you haven't liked the video, but if you haven't liked the video already, please like the video. And when you like, you gotta comment down below. Because when you comment down below, it sparks up the conversation. Gets people interested. Fan interaction is good. And when you comment down below, you gotta hit that subscribe button. Because I'm trying to grow here. Come on, I for some reason I can't get past 2.12k subscribers. Come on. I need you guys to help me out here. Just a little bit. I need you guys to help me out here. So I need you to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already done so. And when you hit that subscribe button, you gotta hit the notifications bell with a huge coup de grace. That way you will know whenever I pop up on YouTube. Because whenever I pop up on YouTube, it's the best time to be on YouTube. I mean, come on. It's the only time we're gonna get to see this glorious sideburn chin strap combination and this beautiful quarantine mustache. Hang on just 1 second. Just got a haircut too. If you couldn't already tell. And I look stunning as ever. Just had to throw that in there. I got my ice water mug right here. Couple of announcements for next week. On Thursday, it is the rundown for NXT Takeover 30 with TM161. If you guys do not already have him, please go subscribe to him on YouTube. He is awesome. And then Immediately following that, on Friday, it is the rundown for SummerSlam with Jessie Kalen. She's actually a new content creator from Maryland. She is doing some very good stuff. She actually just put up a Eddie Guerrero fan package unboxing reaction video. So if you guys haven't watched that, please go check that out. She's awesome in every sense of the word. And then, following that, on Saturday, live at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, I will be going live here on YouTube for the Lightning Flash update before TakeOver 30. And I will be joined by one of my day one A1s, Mr. Earl Cole. It's been a while. It's been about 2 months. Last time we collaborated was the rundown for, what was it? TakeOver in Your House, I believe it was, all the way back in June. So I need you guys to go and check that out. He is going to be here with me next Saturday for the Lightning Flash update. It's going to be good. It's going to be good. We always have a good time. It's going to be a barn burner of a show, as he always says. But anyway, enough of the self-brand promotion and the advertisements. I want to get straight into the festivities here. We got a lot to go over, including the news, rumors, and reports. We're going to start out with Seth Rollins. Good old Monday Night Messiah. The Monday Night Pussy who blocked me. Rollins, he recently spoke to Gorilla Position podcast and stated how today's fan base lacks patience for long-term storytelling. Now, I don't even need to read what he said. I already know just by that one sentence alone that this guy's an absolute idiot. And he is dancing around the actual problem just like Vince is dancing around the right. He's become Vince McMahon Jr., dancing around the actual problem. But he stated, and I quote, "In an age of instant gratification, audiences don't have the patience for long-term storytelling," Rollins said. "When you can binge watch your favorite series in 2 days as opposed to 2 months, it creates a different precedent for how we intake our entertainment. We are consuming our entertainment differently, and wrestling is not immune to this shift. We have to adapt as well to keep up with our audience, which you don't do, okay? The man that is currently running the company that you are working for still operates as if it's the fucking 80s, so you don't keep up with the audience, you don't keep up with the times. Your boss is still treating us like we're idiots, and your boss is still running the company as if it's the 80s, where he can do whatever he wants and not get called out on his bullshit." Rollins continued by saying, "I'm in my 30s, so I grew up in the longer form of entertainment, but our younger audience isn't wired that way." End quote. I'm going to say the same thing that I've always said with Seth Rollins, blaming the fans. That's his go-to. That's old reliable for Seth Rollins. It's the fans' fault. It's never the WWE's fault, because the WWE is perfect. The WWE can do no wrong. The WWE doesn't deserve to be called out on their bullshit. The WWE is never wrong. WWE is always right, and the fans are always wrong. But maybe, hear me out, Colby Lopez, just maybe it's the fact that WWE has developed such a shitty track record with its fan base that the fans are pretty much conditioned. They're pretty much conditioned to say, we just want this end result now. Maybe it's because of the fact that the WWE does not know how to tell a long-term story. Maybe it's the fact that whenever WWE is trying to tell a story on their shows, maybe it's because of the fact that they do the same shit every single week regarding that specific story. I don't know. I've seen what they've been doing. I've been watching wrestling in general for the last 12 years. Trust me, I know what I'm watching on television. It's the fans' fault. Fans lack patience. Really? Is it the fans lack patience, or the fact that WWE doesn't know how to tell a long-term story? He's acting as if WWE has been telling long-term stories for God knows how long. No, they haven't. Their concept is we operate on a week-to-week booking standpoint where we just think of random ideas to spark up the ratings in an instant. That's it. Instant gratification. It's like you're describing Vince McMahon. instant gratification. Isn't that what Vince McMahon wants? Vince McMahon wants the instant gratification. As I stated last week, he's like Veruca. Vince Veruca McMahon. Vince, don't care how, I want it now, McMahon. Vince McMahon's the one that wants the instant gratification. He wants the ratings to go up within a week. He wants the ratings to go from a 1.7 to a 2.9, 3.0 within a week. That's what he wants. All he wants is to spike up the ratings. You take a look at what the WWE does in terms of long-term storytelling, and that's non-existent. But then you take a look at what All Elite Wrestling is doing with Kenny Omega and Adam Hangman Page. And I'm pointing this out because this is the most obvious long-term story being told right now in the world of wrestling. You take a look at that. And how long have they been tag team champions? Over 200 days? They've been tag team champions for over 200 days, right? They have teased the breakup between them numerous amounts of times. We all thought that Hangman was going to turn heel. Then they added another layer on top of that. Kenny Omega attacked Marco Stunt at Fight for the Fallen. Now we don't know whether it's going to be Kenny or Hangman that's going to turn heel. It's an unpredictability factor, but it's a good unpredictability factor because AEW's developed a solid track record of good shows with its audience. AEW's developed a sense of trust with its audience where no matter which way they go, it's going to end up in a great endgame. That's the issue. And on top of that, they've been defending the tag team titles against all of these different tag teams. Jurassic Express and the Dark Order and the Young Bucks and the Lucha Bros, the Natural Nightmares, the Best Friends, Private Party. And they haven't had one bad match. Every single tag team match that they've had has been great. Every single tag team match that they've had has been an excellent tag team bout. They've been defending the tag team titles against different people. They've added different people like FTR into that storyline. They're doing different things to keep you invested in that story. That's the difference. The difference is they're not doing the same shit over and over again with that story. Whenever I look up and down my Twitter timeline, whenever Kenny Omega and Adam Hangman Page are on TV, I don't see one single complaint. I don't see one single complaint from anyone saying, oh, why haven't they lost the championships yet? Oh, I'm getting bored of this storyline. I haven't seen one single complaint. No one's complaining about Kenny Omega and Adam Hangman Page as tag team champions and the fact that they've been tag team champions for 200 days. You know why? It's because AEW is not doing the same thing week in and week out with Kenny Omega and Adam Hangman Page. They're adding new layers onto the storyline week by week. They're defending the tag team titles against different teams every single week. It's not the same shit over and over again. You take a look at what Sasha and Bayley have been doing, and I've seen some people complain about the Sasha and Bayley storyline. Why? Because Sasha and Bayley are coming out every single week, and they're saying the same exact thing over and over again. They're reiterating the same exact promo that they reiterated 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, 6 weeks before. They're facing the same exact people, a combination of the Kabuki Warriors or Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross. They're doing the same shit each and every single week. They've been feuding with Asuka throughout the course of the entire summer. And now Asuka's in not one, but 2 championship matches at SummerSlam. Look at Sheamus and Jeff Hardy. Look at Sheamus and Jeff Hardy. Sheamus came out every single Friday on SmackDown and said the same exact thing with Jeff Hardy. You're a junkie, or a junkie, as Sheamus calls him. To a point where people were like, can this just end already? How is that long-term storytelling? How is that keeping the audience invested if you do the same exact thing each and every single week? What about you, Colby? How about you? You're a prime example of this. Throughout this entire Monday Night Messiah character that you have been playing for the entire year, you have come out every single Monday and you've said the same exact promo week in and week out. But yet we're supposed to be invested in something that we've already seen time and time again, and the company is not doing a single thing to keep us invested in that? Seth Rollins dancing around the issue at hand yet again. Seth Rollins dancing around the problem. It's never the WWE's fault. It's not that the WWE doesn't know how to tell a long-term story. It's not that the WWE doesn't know how to keep the viewer invested. No. It's the fact that the fans don't have a sense of long-term storytelling. Idiot. Absolute idiot. Ignoring the actual problem at hand. Why? Because he is a WWE cocksucker. He's a WWE cocksucker, and he does not want the company to stop paying his fiancée, the woman who's carrying his child, Becky Lynch, all this money during her pregnancy leave. Fans lack patience, yeah. Because the WWE really knows how to tell an engaging story. It's not like this is NXT, or the NXT of old, before WrestleMania 36 ended. Moving on. My next report comes from Steve Carrier. Steve Carrier actually reported a couple of things that I'm going to talk about. So Steve Carrier, last Saturday, he provided us an update on Retribution. Nexus Light. He stated, and I quote, "Let's talk about Retribution for a second. WWE still has no idea who's in the stable, and everyone who played those roles on Friday, last Friday, were stand-ins. There's no direction, quote unquote, and also, stop inboxing me about CM Punk. We've confirmed he has nothing to do with this. Thanks," end quote. Stand-ins. That's all I needed to hear. Stand-ins. Stand-ins. So if WWE has no idea who's in the stable and they don't even know what the fuck they're doing or where the fuck they want to go with this angle, why should we give it the benefit of the doubt? Why should we give it any sort of chance whatsoever? And I'm going to say this a bunch of times during this video. I give the company enough of a chance just by sitting on my bed, sitting on my couch, and taking 2 hours out of my Friday and 3 hours out of my Monday just to watch the show. That's enough of a chance that the company gets from me. I'm taking 5 hours out of my week to watch Raw and SmackDown. And you're telling me to still give these guys a chance? To give these guys the benefit of the doubt? Based on the track record of the company, I am not giving them a chance until they actually develop a string of good shows, a string of good angles, a string of good feuds, a string of good outcomes, the right outcomes that put the correct superstars over. There's a lot to go in. There's a lot to go into just simply giving them a chance. Stand-ins. They don't even know where they want to go with it. And if they don't even know where they want to go with it, why should we give them a chance? Why should we give them a chance if it is a complete clusterfuck as far as the plans long term for these guys? There are no long-term plans. Stand-ins. And apparently they added more people to Retribution. It's not just 5 people now, it's like 10 to 15 people. I wasn't really keeping track, but now apparently there's more people, which we'll talk about when we get to SmackDown. And I don't really want to sound cliche. I don't want to say the same old stereotypical thing that I've always said. I don't want to say the same thing that everyone else is saying, but it really is just a desperate attempt for ratings. It is a desperate attempt at being unpredictable. It's a desperate attempt at being edgy, when in reality, they are completely blind to the fact that this is not going to help. And they're completely ignoring the actual issue at hand, which I really think it is. It's the fact that they're ignoring the actual issue at hand, which is what the WWE usually does. They ignore the actual issue at hand and try and find a way around it. Try and find an easy way out. Once again, another desperate attempt for ratings because Vince don't care how I want it now. McMahon can't develop a sense of patience. They don't even realize that the ratings are not going to go up in a week. It's never going to go up in a week. Shit like that is going to take time. They need to get their head out of their ass and stop focusing on driving up the ratings within a week and focus on driving up the ratings within a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. It's going to take a long, extended period of time for them to drive up the ratings. It's not going to happen overnight. Moving on to a report from Mike Johnson on his PW Insider Elite audio show. He reported that WWE is planning their next NXT Takeover Special for Sunday, October 4th. Now, that's a little early if you ask me for another takeover. It's like 5-6 weeks after TakeOver 30. And the one reason why I think that this is happening is because I believe that they probably want to get one more takeover in before the year ends. They probably want to get a takeover in for December. Because usually they have 5 takeovers a year. Usually they have 5 takeovers a year, but one takeover that was supposed to take place during WrestleMania weekend, that didn't happen because of the coronavirus, and they needed to split WrestleMania into 2 nights. So TakeOver Tampa was canceled. So we waited 4 months between TakeOver Portland and TakeOver in your house. And now we got TakeOver 30, and that's only going to be the 3rd takeover. And then we got this takeover, that's only going to be the 4th one. My guess is that Triple H probably wants to get the 5-match takeover, the 5 takeover format in for the year by doing one in October, and then he's probably going to do one before Christmas. Probably going to do one in early to mid-December, because he wants to get that in there, and he wants to get that 5 takeover format in for the year. Other than that, I don't really see a reason to have one takeover literally like 5-6 weeks after another. Doesn't really make too much sense to me. But we'll see what happens there. Steve Carrier of Ringside News, again Steve Carrier, he reported that there is creative disarray regarding the plans for WWE Payback, which has now been confirmed for August 30th. Carrier tweeted this out, and I quote, "WWE is still running Payback on August 30th. There's a big problem, and I'll let this quick quote from a source speak for itself." And I quote, "Who the fuck knows what's up for Payback? It changes 3 times a day." Again, just like I stated, WWE doesn't know what the fuck they want to do. They don't know where the fuck they want to go. They don't know what they're doing. They don't. But yet people want me to give them a chance, right? People want me to give them a chance, yet everything's in disarray as far as Payback goes. I guess that's what you get for holding a pay-per-view 1 week after SummerSlam. Moving on to some more positive news before we get into the weekly show reviews. Dave Meltzer reported that there is a big push in store for Jungle Boy. AEW reportedly has big plans for him, and they plan on waiting until crowds come back to put those plans into motion. Now, it is unknown whether that push concerns Jurassic Express or not. It is unknown if these plans concern Marco Stunt or not, or Luchasaurus or not. I don't know if it's going to be a singles push. I'm not sure if it's going to be a tag team push, but apparently they got big faith in Jungle Boy. And you know something? I have no problem with that. Now, Jungle Boy. They have big plans for Jungle Boy. They want to wait till crowds come back. I don't know about you, but I was calling a few people like Orange Cassidy and Scorpio Sky. I did say that one day they would be challenging for the World Championship, and MJF is inevitably going to win the World Championship from Jon Moxley. If we get crowds back by early 2021, MJF more likely than not is still going to be the World Champion. We get crowds back by early 2021. I don't know about you, but MJF, again, I've stated, he's going to need baby faces to work with. The babyface that's going to inevitably take the title off of MJF is going to be Adam Hangman Page, and that's not coming until mid-2021. But in the meantime, Adam Hangman Page is going to need some top baby faces to feud with. Cody can't challenge for the World Championship. Moxley, more likely than not, is going to go into a feud with Lance Archer. Lance Archer and Brody Lee. Brody Lee's more likely going to win the TNT Championship next week. Lance Archer, you're not going to push Lance Archer into a world title feud this early. Too soon. So I don't know about you, but I can definitely see Jungle Boy as one of the interim challengers for Maxwell Jacob Friedman should we get crowds back at the beginning of 2021 after that fantastic match that we got at Double or Nothing between MJF and Jungle Boy. That match went nearly 20 minutes. Those guys put on a fucking World Championship caliber match. Matter of fact, I would even go so far as to say that that match was better than Brody Lee and Jon Moxley. Not to take anything away from Brody Lee and Jon Moxley. That was very good, but compared to Maxwell Jacob Friedman and Jungle Boy, I don't know about you, I would take Maxwell Jacob Friedman and Jungle Boy any day. They work very, very well together. They work very well together. That's going to be a World Championship feud in its own right down the line. Just watch. Just watch. Moving on here with the final report, and this is actually the most recent report that actually came out, I believe, yesterday or Thursday. AEW removed Jimmy Havoc, Bea Priestly, and Sadie Gibbs profiles off of their websites. It was confirmed by Sadie Gibbs that she herself was released as she was thanking fans on Twitter who were wishing her luck in her future endeavors. Now, Jimmy Havoc and Bea Priestly, I had a feeling that their releases were coming based on the speaking out movement. So they suffered the same fate as Joey Ryan, Travis Banks, Ligero, Jack Gallagher, Michael Elgin, those guys. As far as Sadie Gibbs goes, I believe Sadie Gibbs was released mainly because of the fact that she was quarantined in the UK, and a lot of international superstars, they couldn't make it. They couldn't make it, and AEW, they had to cut costs, which unfortunately sucks. It unfortunately sucks for them. I do wish Sadie Gibbs luck in her future endeavors. I hope the situation with Bea Priestly gets resolved. I hope the situation with Jimmy Havoc gets resolved. But at this rate, can't really do too much. Now, Jimmy Havoc, I'm not really all that sad about because Jimmy Havoc, I knew he wasn't really going anywhere in All Elite Wrestling. Bea Priestly, I had some faith in. Sadie Gibbs, I had some faith in too. She had immense potential. I hope that she does get back to All Elite Wrestling some way, somehow. But the women's division in AEW, it continues to suffer. And I still don't know why people are complaining that we're only getting 3-minute women's matches. And speaking of the women's division, I'm actually going to talk about the Women's Tag Team Cup tournament here on the weekly show reviews. We had the final quarterfinal matches. We had Ricochet Chanel and Leva Bates versus Big and Lil Swole. Lil Swole being Nicole Savoy. Ricochet Chanel, I'm telling you right now, she is worse than Alicia Fox. Ricochet Chanel, she is absolutely horrible. Matter of fact, I'd even take Abaddon over Ricochet Chanel. And Abaddon sucks. Leva Bates, she ain't no better. Ricochet Chanel and Leva Bates brought this match down. Big and Little Swole, however, I actually like what they are. I actually like what they are doing. I actually like what they bring to the table. Nicole Savoy, she's very swift, I noticed in this matchup. She's very swift. She almost reminds me of Deonna Purrazzo with how technically sound she is. She works a ground-based pace with exploder suplexes. Reminds me of Deonna Purrazzo in Impact. So Big and Little Swole, they were working on, what was it? I believe it was Ricochet Chanel with some swift heel kicks, modified Rings of Saturn by Lil Swole. Ricochet Chanel hit Lil Swole with a comb. Yes, you heard me correctly. A comb. That's how bad Ricochet Chanel is, that she has to use a comb. Fashion capital of the world, Paris, France, comb. In fucking wrestling. So Lil Swole said, fuck this. Big exploder suplex. I like the exploder suplexes that Lil Swole offers. Leva took over. Lil Swole was isolated. Lil Swole eventually made the tag. Swift roundhouse kick and a blue thunder bomb for a 2 by Big Swole. I like when Big Swole gets on a roll. She has some nice offense. Very intense. Leva got distracted. She was caught with a natural selection, flatliner combo, and the Swoles win. This match sucked. This match absolutely sucked because of Ricochet Chanel and Leva Bates. I don't really know what to tell you there. Glad that the Swolls won. Now they're facing the Nightmare Sisters in the final round. I do not see the Swolls advancing. Matter of fact, I see Britt Baker getting involved, and I see Britt Baker costing the Swolls. And obviously, we are getting Big Swole and Britt Baker at All Out, which should be a fairly decent match. Evolise and Diamante. I like that team. Versus Dasha and Rachel. Rachel Ellering, that is. And I'm very happy that they got Rachel Ellering. I really hope that Rachel Ellering is a permanent staple in the women's division. I like what Rachel Ellering has to offer. She's intense. She's fierce. She has a good look. I like Rachel Ellering. Let's see what she can do. She was very good in the Mae Young Classic. So Dasha actually surprised me. Now, she was definitely out of place. She took a lot of offense here, but Dasha, I actually have no problem with in the ring. Matter of fact, Dasha actually worked harder than Alexa Bliss here. No joke. Dasha can take a fucking beating. Dasha with a handspring forearm, which actually looked nice. Diamante got the tag. Ellering came in, started wrenching on the arm of Diamante before Dasha came in again. Diamante and Evolise isolated Dasha. Dasha took a lot of offense, as I stated. Rachel came in with some stiff chops. And let me tell you something. Rachel Ellering's chops, I actually find them more brutal than Charlotte Flair's chops. And that's saying something. Rachel Ellering hits hard. She came in with a big senton for a 2. Evolise accidentally struck Diamante. We had a slingshot leg drop by Rachel for a 2. Dasha was tagged in. Diamante came in with a wheelbarrow stunner. And then a beautiful code red for the win by Evolise. She pinned none other than Dasha. I had a feeling that Dasha was taking the pin. Dasha didn't look half bad here. She didn't look half bad. I didn't mind it, but she's definitely not a permanent professional wrestler. Rachel Ellering looked good. I love Diamante and Evolise. Matter of fact, I would even go so far as to give them the cup. If you really want to establish 2 fresh new stars in the women's division, you know, you're going to have the Nightmare Sisters in the finals anyway. The Swolls are not making it to the finals. The Nightmare Sisters are going to be in the finals, and we don't really need to see Brandy Rhodes and Allie take the win here and win the Women's Tag Team Cup. I would give it to Evolise and Diamante. I would have them win the whole thing. Establish 2 new stars by having them win the tournament, and then start building them up singly in the singles division. Then you have 2 new challengers for Sheeta right there. This was probably the best match of the tournament. It wasn't anything crazy. It wasn't anything overwhelming. Certainly not anything special. But this was fairly decent for women who can actually wrestle. Wasn't anything special, but it was fairly decent for what it was. Probably the best match of the tournament. And yeah, I would give Evolise and Diamante the win. So that was the Women's Tag Team Cup tournament. That was the last 2 quarterfinals. Better than last week, but still not anything special. Definitely not where the women's division needs to be. Monday Night Raw was 3 highlights. 3 highlights. Nothing but a 3-highlight show, and I could have done without most of the show. Samoa Joe was in the ring, and he moderated the contract signing between Dominic Mysterio and Seth Rollins. So Joe said Dominic will also sign a contract that will make him an official WWE superstar. Rollins and Murphy came out first. Dominic came out next with a kendo stick. Joe said that this is sad. It's sad that he should be seeing Seth freaking Rollins, but all he sees is a man who got caught up in his feelings because a couple of fans booed him. So Samoa Joe channeling his inner DJ Storms right there. Samoa Joe channeling his inner DJ Storms right there. Samoa Joe dropping the truth bombs. Samoa Joe is probably the one guy that resembles me the most on the main roster. I mean, in all of professional wrestling, it's Maxwell Jacob Friedman because I am the MJF of the IWC. But I would say that Samoa Joe resembles DJ Storms the best when it comes to the WWE. He's always spitting the facts, just like I am. So, Joe said he gave a man with little to no training a reason to fight. Rollins said that he tried for them. He tried to be Mr. Burn It Down, but he got crapped on. And again, Seth Rollins dancing around the actual problem. It's not you that we hate, Rollins. It's not your own booking. You didn't book yourself. It's the fact that the WWE booked you like an idiot. And the fact, on top of that, the fact that you came out on social media numerous amounts of times and acted like an idiot and constantly blamed the fans for the reason why wrestling sucks. Trying to act like your company is perfect. Just like I ranted on earlier, just about 35, we're going 35 minutes, right? I ranted on Seth Rollins, I ranted on you, Colby, about 25 minutes ago, about the fact that you constantly blame the fans and not blame the company. I mean, I have no problem with anyone defending the company that they work for. I would do the same. But at a certain point in time, you need to make sure you can defend that company in that certain area. Rollins, if you're watching, he's probably not watching, but Colby, you're not defending your company in an area in which they can be defended in. That's why people are shitting on you. And on top of that, the company booked both of your Universal Championship title reigns like shit. So Dominic said that it's never going to be enough. He said that he, meaning Rollins, uses the greater good as an excuse to do ungodly things. Rollins said he should be thanking him. Dominic said it was his dream to be WWE Superstar, but now his dream is to kick Rollins' ass at SummerSlam. Rollins said you can bring that kendo stick and every weapon that he wants, so he has no excuse when he ends Dominic's career before it even begins. So they both sign the contract, and then Rollins gets set to face Humberto Carrillo next. And this was a waste of time, was Humberto Carrillo versus Seth Rollins. Now, the contract signing was very, very good. All men played their roles very, very well. This was an excellent contract signing. Samoa Joe and the back and forth he had with Rollins was excellent. Dominic even played a fairly decent role. Still too early for Dominic to be in this role, but it was a fairly decent contract signing. Rollins and Humberto Carrillo. Rollins wins with a super kick powerbomb and a stomp. That combo got Rollins the win. Murphy then attacked Dominic after Dominic hit Murphy with a kendo stick. Rollins and Murphy took advantage of a weakened out Dominic before he broke free, but Rollins and Murphy regained control, and then Rollins started to use the kendo stick, and he started whipping the shit out of Dominic. They ripped his shirt off, they tied him up in the ropes, they gave Murphy another kendo stick, and they started literally, it's almost like it was Dominic's initiation. He whacked Dominic in the chest, and Murphy whacked Dominic in the back. And Rollins was staring right into the camera saying, "Hi, Ray, hi, Papa Ray," as he was whipping Dominic. Now, the match with Carrillo was a waste of time, but Rollins and Murphy beating the shit out of Dominic with a kendo stick, this was fantastic. As Rollins was saying, "Hey, you gonna say hi to your Papa? I say hi to Papa Ray." That was great. And Dominic, I gotta give Dominic credit here. Again, it's way too early for Dominic to be in this position, but holy shit, Dominic has got some balls. And I mean, he's got balls in order to take that. He took 30, they tallied it up after it was done. He took 30 kendo stick shots. I really got to give Dominic, he's only like 2 years older than me. 2 years, a year older than me. He's got some balls to take that so early in his career. 30 kendo stick shots, and you saw the welts on his chest and his back. Shit, Dominic paid his fucking dues. Dominic, I feel as though Dominic, he took more agony. He was in more agony than Alexa Bliss has ever been in throughout her career. Dominic took more bumps in that segment alone than Alexa Bliss has taken in her entire career. That's saying something. So then Rollins laughed into the camera and he said, "To be continued, Ray." So then after that, which was fantastic, then we go into Andrade versus Angelo Dawkins. Andrade tried to wear down Dawkins. Dawkins came back with a big back elbow, big exploder. Andrade regained control. Big double knees for a 2. Dawkins with a big right hand, but Vega got involved. Bianca took her out, and then we had Angelo Dawkins hitting the cash out for the win. And then after that, we had Bianca and Zelina Vega. Can I just point out, how sad is it? How sad is it that a poisoning angle is the main storyline for a tag team championship match at SummerSlam, your second biggest pay-per-view of the year of all pay-per-views? The main storyline is not who's the best tag team. The main storyline is not the tag team titles. The main storyline is the members of one team poisoning a member of the other team and having him collapse in the ring and faint. That's the main story. That's the main story for a tag team championship match going into SummerSlam of all pay-per-views. If you want to know what Vince really thinks of tag team wrestling, there you go. Bianca Belair and Zelina Vega. This match, I don't even know why this match went 10 minutes. This match should not have gone 10 minutes. This match should have gone 4 minutes at most. This was the longest matchup for the majority of the show. We had the match beginning during the break. Belair with a kick out after a very sloppy corkscrew bulldog. Zelina Vega, she is not very good in the ring. Vega with a Hurricane Rana off the middle rope, or onto the middle rope. Belair came back with a few kicks. Belair was set into the post. Bianca came back with the KOD for the win, and that was it. How sad is it? Here's another one. How sad is it that Bianca Belair was utilized more on a fucking Twitch stream with Zelina Vega at her own home, more so than she's been utilized ever since she came up from NXT. She's been on the main roster for 5 months, and the most that she has to show for it is an invasion of Zelina Vega's home on a Twitch stream last week. That's it. That's all Bianca has to show for her main roster run so far. An invasion of Zelina Vega's home on a Twitch stream. And another thing, why is Bianca being intertwined with this tag team title match situation with the Street Profits, Andrade and Angel Garza? Why isn't she off doing her own thing? Why isn't she off getting built up on her own to eventually win the Raw Women's Championship within the next few months? That's what I don't understand. Oh, and by the way, how sad is it? Here's another one. How sad is it? How sad is it that we were an hour into the show at this point, and we only had 11 minutes of actual wrestling on the show? And I don't know what it was, but for some reason, I just decided to keep track of how many minutes of actual wrestling we were getting on the show. And, oh my God, you won't believe how much we actually got of actual wrestling by the end of the show. In a 180-minute show, take a guess at how much actual wrestling there was. I'll tell you in the end. So then we had the VIP Lounge, investigative VIP Lounge with the Hurt Business, a terrible faction name. MVP continued to blame his loss on the flickering lights. Paul then came out. He said that MVP keeps on making excuses. Paul says that he's allowed to make bad decisions because he's a bad man. Paul says that he doesn't care about Benjamin or Lashley. And he says that the only lights going out at SummerSlam will be MVP's. He then slid into the ring and did a few sucker punches on MVP and then tossed a couch at the Hurt Business. They dodged it. We then had Benjamin and Cruz coming back from break. And Benjamin rolled up Cruz for the win. Because it wouldn't be WWE main roster television if a champion didn't lose in a non-title match. And that wasn't the only time that a champion lost in a non-title match this week on WWE television. That wasn't the only time. So Lashley tried for the full Nelson. MVP said, no, I need him healthy for SummerSlam. And then Apollo hit MVP with an enziguri and then slid out of Dodge. I hope to God that MVP does not win the U.S. title and we actually move on from this Apollo Crews Hurt Business storyline after SummerSlam. Because it really should be either Murphy or Ali that takes the title off of Apollo Crews, if we're going to be quite honest. Retribution. Nexus Light. They threw a cinder block through a glass door at the PC. Great. So now we got Retribution throwing cinder blocks through the glass doors at the PC. As if that's going to drive up the ratings. Yeah, that's definitely going to drive up the ratings to a 2.0 million, to a 2.1, 2.2, all the way to a 3 million, right? You're doing fantastic, Bruce Pritchard. You're doing great, Vince. I want it now, right? I don't care how. I want it now. I want to lock it all up in my pocket. It's my bar of chocolate. Give it to me now. For those of you who don't know what that's from, it's from fucking Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. It's a fucking classic movie. I love it. Watch it. Gene Wilder is fantastic. Although my favorite Gene Wilder movie is Young Frankenstein. I'm sorry, I'm kind of getting sidetracked. Mickie James was interviewed before Lana and Natalya came in. Lana says, "How are you going to lead the women's division if you don't have a TikTok?" Yes, those words came out of Lana's mouth. No joke. I mean, if WWE's portrayal of Lana is a dumb bimbo, I think they're doing a pretty good job at portraying Lana as a dumb bimbo. Natalya and Lana. Yeah, like that's going to get us invested in Natalya. So Mickie says, "Oh yeah, you worked so hard off of your family's coattails," obviously talking to Natalya, and that was that. She had a major announcement, but apparently there was no announcement. Viking Raiders versus Ricochet and Cedric Alexander. I'm sorry, not Ricochet and Cedric. Viking Raiders and Ricochet and Cedric Alexander versus Akira Tozawa and his ninjas. Yes, this was an actual match. Ricochet, Cedric, and the Viking Raiders. All these men putting on classics on 205 Live and NXT respectfully, now reduced to ninjas. Now reduced to Jackie Chan, Bruce Lee ripoff material on Monday Night Raw. Yeah, this is really going to get me invested in the Viking Raiders and Ricochet and Cedric Alexander. This is a fucking spit in the face to everything that they've done. Viking Experience for the win. R-Truth then disguised himself as a ninja, and he rolled up Tozawa to win the 24/7 championship. Who cares? It's fucking disgusting. That's what it is. Liv Morgan versus Peyton Royce. Who cares? Spinning neck breaker for the win in 2 minutes. But there was one thing about this that I did take into account. The fact that Tom Phillips recalled that Ruby Riott called the Iconics toxic, sad women. So me, being who I am, I couldn't help myself because I'm a prick. So I tweeted out, and I quote unquote, "The Iconics are toxic, sad women." Exactly what the majority of their fan base is made up of. See how many people are going to get on me for that one. "Oh, DJ, you're sexist." Hey, the majority of Alexa Bliss's fan base is full of 30-year-olds, 40-year-olds who sit in front of their laptops and jerk off to pictures of Alexa Bliss. So, is that sexist? The majority of Alexa Bliss's fan base is 30-year-olds, 40-year-olds who can't get girlfriends. So they stare at pictures of Alexa Bliss at 3 a.m. in the morning. Is that sexist? Same shit here with the Iconics. The majority of the Iconics fan base are toxic, sad women. And I know my friend, my friend Michelle, my fellow Italian, Michelle, she actually decided to comment on that. Obviously she was. I know for a fact you were watching. Trust me. You watch my tweets, Michelle. I know you're watching. You watch my tweets just so you can find a moment to comment on them. I know you, Michelle. I know you. I'll see you next Wednesday. I'll see you next Wednesday at Garden State Plaza. Don't worry, I'll buy you lunch. Raw Underground. Great. Raw Underground. UFC Brawl for All Fight Club Hybrid. How is this making new stars? I'd love for someone to tell me how it's making new stars. We had ZZ from Tough Enough fighting Riddick Moss. Riddick Moss ended up winning. Yeah, like Riddick Moss. He gets over in Raw Underground, but he can't get over in an actual ring? How is Raw Underground going to get anyone over? Raw Underground is the exact opposite of what pro wrestling should be. And I said it once, and I'll say it again, after I did a huge rant on it last week. I don't give a shit who you are, whether you're a fan, a family member, an acquaintance, an associate, a co-worker. I don't give a shit who you are. If you support Raw Underground, I have absolutely no respect for you. You don't deserve my respect. Open your fucking eyes. Raw Underground is a UFC Brawl for All Fight Club hybrid. It's not going to get anyone over. It's not going to help the ratings. I am not going to give it a chance. If you're giving it a chance, you don't deserve to be anywhere near the term professional wrestling. End of discussion, you bastards. Moving on. Asuka versus Bayley. So the lights started flickering again during the match. Asuka. Now this was actually a fairly good match. I'm not going to lie. This was a fairly good match. But how many times have we seen it? How many times have we seen some sort of combination of this match? Good match, though. But still, we've seen it. So Asuka with a slingshot stomp going into commercial. Bayley with an ankle lock, but Asuka, she was able to get to the ropes. Asuka with various submission attempts, but Bayley was able to fight out of it and hit a reverse figure 4. Asuka reversed that into a knee bar. Codebreaker by Asuka for a 2. Bayley with a diving elbow for a 2. Sunset bomb into the buckle. Bayley was going for the walking the plank tribute to Kairi Sane. That didn't happen because Asuka reversed that into the Asuka lock and Bayley taps out. Champion. SmackDown Women's Champion. Over 300 days as SmackDown Women's Champion, and she taps out to Asuka. Good match. Probably the best matchup of the night. Good match. But how many times have we seen it? And on top of that, now we're seeing it again at SummerSlam, which I'll go over when we get to the SmackDown portion of the Lightning Flash update. It's a good wrestling match, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I'd be fucking idiotic if I told you that this wasn't a good match. But how many times have we seen it? And Bayley taps out. So another champion loses on live television in a non-title match. We had Arturo Ruas, however the hell you pronounce his name. He was on Raw Underground. He beat up a few unknowns. Dabakato came in as well, and he beat a bunch of unknown bums. Shayna Baszler then came in, and she tapped out a few women. I barely paid attention to this. Now we got Shayna Baszler on Raw Underground, but she can't win a predetermined battle royal, but she can win a shoot fight? She can win a shoot fight, but she can't win a predetermined battle royal. How does that make any sense, and how does that make her look good? Completely the opposite of what professional wrestling should be. I don't care who you are. You support Raw Underground. You are an absolute detriment to the community, to society, and to yourself. You are a disease, and I'm the cure. Retribution, they were shown flipping over a car and hopping up and down on it, like a bunch of 8-year-olds. They flipped over a car. Great. Like we haven't seen Braun Strowman flip over an ambulance. Like we haven't seen Braun Strowman flip over a fucking 18-wheeler. Like we haven't seen Braun Strowman flip over a car. How original. Kevin Owens versus Randy Orton. This was actually pretty damn good. It only went about 12 minutes, but it was pretty damn good. I still don't know why this match was even happening. I mean, Randy Orton, he can't lose going into SummerSlam because he's going into a WWE Championship match. Kevin Owens realistically should be being built up on his own to fight whoever the WWE Champion is after SummerSlam, so you booked yourself into a corner here. WWE logic, because they got nothing else going on. So Orton, he targeted the damaged shoulder of Owens, tossing him into the plexiglass and into the steps. So Owens came back with a clothesline and a senton, beautiful combination right there. Orton with a back suplex to Owens on the announce desk. Owens came back with a beautiful senton bomb for a 2. Orton, he was being measured by Owens. It looked like Owens was going to go for the RKO, but Randy Orton eventually hit the RKO, and Randy Orton wins. This is a damn good match, I'm not going to lie, but again, it was a complete waste of time because now Owens and his legitimacy that he gained before this matchup with Orton, that's gone now. That's gone because Orton got the win here. Orton got the win, and now Orton is going into a WWE Championship match, and whoever wins, whether it be Orton or McIntyre, now the challenger for the WWE Championship, it's not, if Owens ends up challenging for the WWE Championship after SummerSlam, he's not going to look credible whatsoever. He's not. So, how am I supposed to take Owens seriously if they put him in a WWE Championship match with Randy Orton, should Orton win, if Randy Orton already beat Kevin Owens here? Ass backwards booking. So, Orton then took the microphone. He said, "Rick, could you stay for a minute? Could you stay?" So coming back from commercial, he says that he really should be angry at Flair because he made this match, but he just can't. He just can't. But he says he doesn't respect or love Rick anymore. He says that Flair wanted to take Orton under his wing because he wished Orton could be the son that Flair wished he had. You were nothing but a junkie for a spotlight, or for the spotlight. And he says that Flair is just worried about being in the spotlight and not actually caring for Randy Orton. That's pretty much what Orton was saying. So Flair then took the microphone and he says that, "You're right. I'm not the same Ric Flair that I was 10, 15 years ago. You're right about that." But he says he wants Orton to break his record. He says he wants to wake up. He said when he woke up from his coma, he wanted to tell everyone that he loved them. He wanted to tell everyone that he loved, including Orton, that he loved them. He says he's merely Charlotte's dad, and he wants to be a part of Randy Orton's life. That's all he wants. It was very genuine, very heartfelt. Randy then embraced Ric Flair, but when Flair turned around, low blow. Low blow. The lights started flickering again, and then Orton presumably punted Flair. It wasn't shown, which I don't know why it wasn't shown. I mean, the flickering lights was fucking ridiculous, but this segment was amazing. And then afterwards, Drew McIntyre came out. He called Orton a sick son of a bitch. Even Ric Flair. Two men then stared each other down as the show went off the air, and Drew said that he's going to kick Orton's ass at SummerSlam. Outside of the contract signing with Rey Mysterio and Dominic, outside of Asuka and Bayley, and outside of the segments with Randy Orton, show was completely missable. It was a lackluster show. It was a below average show. It was not decent. It was not good. It was not great. Stop acknowledging what is clearly not good as good. Stop it. Get some help. You look like an idiot if you are telling me that this was a good show. This was not. So that's Monday Night Raw. I don't even want to continue on with the rest of the Lightning Flash update. I really don't. We are going to continue on with the rest of the Lightning Flash update because I am a generous man, I am a giving man, and I give back to those that I care about. AEW Dark. Now, I said it once and I'll say it again, I can't stand the 9-match format, but this was actually a fairly good show. We actually got some really good wrestling on the show. There wasn't really many enhancement matches on the show. We started off with Lee Johnson versus Rey Fenix. Lee Johnson, I'm telling you right now, Lee Johnson is very, very underrated. Lee Johnson, he can work. I actually would not mind Lee Johnson signing a full-time deal with All Elite Wrestling. I wouldn't mind. He's actually fairly decent. So, we had Phoenix. He got routed in the early portions of the match. Lee Johnson came back with a lariat, turning Phoenix inside out. We had a springboard missile dropkick and a blue thunder bomb for a 2. Phoenix with an enziguri, the corner spinning kick, and we eventually got the spinning muscle buster driver for the win. Fairly decent match right here, fairly decent sprint, and Rey Fenix gets the win. So, not a bad showing for Lee Johnson. Lee Johnson has shown that he can work. I would not mind Lee Johnson signing a deal with All Elite Wrestling in the near future. I'm actually just seeing right now in the corner of my eye Randy Orton and Rusev from SummerSlam 2017. This is where Rusev got buried here. So we're just going to watch this unfold. Right there. Right there. 10 seconds. 10 seconds. And Randy Orton RKO's the shit out of Rusev. Rusev sold it like a pro. That's WWE. That's what WWE really thinks of Rusev right there. That's what WWE thinks of Rusev. They're going to show the replay? Going to show the replay. Come on, I'm wasting a minute on this. I just want to say before I continue on with my dark review. We're just going to watch it unfold. We'll just watch it unfold. I turned the volume down, but... So, Randy Orton. Come on, are you going to show it again? How much fucking time are you going to waste here? How much fucking time are you wasting? Come on, WWE Network. It's been 3 years since I watched this SummerSlam. Here we go. Watch this. So, Rusev attacks Randy Orton. I don't know why I'm getting sidetracked here. I just wanted to see Rusev get fucking RKO'd into oblivion. Rusev getting buried. This is what WWE thinks of Rusev. Here we go, right here. So the bell rings into the turnbuckle, and then boom. RKO. And then a cover, 2, 3. Moving on with the dark review. Shawn Spears versus Alex Chamberlain. Shawn Spears with the C4 for the win. And that was pretty much that. Not sure where Shawn Spears is going. I could see him winning the TNT Championship later on in his career in AEW, probably in 2021. I don't really see him going very far now, especially since he hasn't been used on Dynamite ever since the embarrassment at Double or Nothing with Dustin Rhodes. So, then we had M'Badu. Yes, you did not mishear that. M'Badu and Shawn Dean versus the Gun Club. Nothing too special here with this tag team match. Billy was isolated by Badu and Dean. Austin got the hot tag, pump handle slam for a 2. Dean got hit with the hip toss neck breaker for the win, and that was pretty much it. Not really sure where they go with the Gun Club. They are undefeated. Austin Gunn I definitely want to see on his own, and I want to see what Austin Gunn can do on his own. Michael Stevens versus Kip Sabian. It looks like Kip Sabian is on his own now. Kip Sabian with a swinging neck breaker off the top rope for the win. Kip Sabian is another guy I can see challenging for the TNT Championship very soon. Private Party versus Griff Garrison and Brian Pillman Jr. Fairly decent tag team match right here. We had swift double team moves by Private Party early on. Pillman and Griff took over control. They isolated Cassidy before Quinn got the hot tag. Big back body drop to Griff. Tope on Pillman, and then a springboard crossbody on Griff. Private Party with the splash leg drop combo. A Hardy Boys combination for the win here. Private Party get the win. Private Party continue to grow, and their stock continues to rise. Pineapple Pete, Corey Hollis, and Aaron Solo versus the Jurassic Express. I barely even took notes on this one. Nothing special, nothing overwhelming. Simply to use to sell the tag team title match on Dynamite. 450 by stunt to Pineapple Pete for the win. And that was that. The Hybrid 2 versus the Natural Nightmares. This is probably one of my favorite tag team matches of Dark. One of my favorite matches on Dark, period. So the Natural Nightmares kept Evans at bay for the time being. Some swift double team moves and quick tags, excuse me. The Hybrid 2 then regained control. QT was on the receiving end of a lot of offense before Dustin got the hot tag. Evans was too busy trash talking. Big power slam on both Angelico and Jack Evans. Big rolling senton on the Hybrid 2. A whisper in the wind type maneuver by Dustin. Then we had a pop-up fist by QT and the final reckoning by Dustin. Good tag team match right here. Great to see the Hybrid 2 back. Great to see the Natural Nightmares back. And that was that. Penelope Ford versus Rachel Ellering. This was actually fairly decent, and I actually like what Rachel Ellering has to offer. Rachel Ellering is actually very, very good in the ring. And I actually believe after these two decent performances that Rachel Ellering put on, I do think that it would be best if they do sign Rachel Ellering and start building her up. And we'll see how she grows. We'll see how she evolves in the women's division. So Rachel, she came in with a twisting flying elbow. Penelope took over control. We had Rachel coming back with a nice suplex. Some of those stiff chops again. I love those stiff chops. Nice senton for a 2. Pop-up spine buster by Rachel. Ford came in with the handspring back elbow, the lethal injection, and then the fisherman suplex for the win. Penelope Ford continues to rise, and Rachel Ellering with a few decent performances. I hope that she does land a job in All Elite Wrestling. Butcher and the Blade versus SCU, Frankie Kazarian and Christopher Daniels. This is actually a very good main event here for AEW Dark. The Butcher and the Blade continue to gain wins here on Dark, and the Butcher and the Blade, they're actually doing very, very well as far as their record in 2020 goes. So, Butcher and the Blade, they were isolated, or the Blade was isolated in the early going. Butcher came in, SCU with the clothesline, double stomp combo on the Butcher. Clothesline and a back suplex combo to the Blade for a 2. We had a lion salt by Daniels for a 2 on the Blade. The Butcher and the Blade then with a leg drop side slam combo for a 2. Daniels then made the tag to Kazarian, big drop kick, clothesline to the Blade, springboard leg drop, swinging Uranagi by the Butcher and the Blade for a 2. Blue Thunder Bomb neckbreaker combo by SCU for a 2. We then had Full Death for the win, and the Butcher and the Blade close out Dark with a win in decisive fashion. Very good match right here. Nothing too crazy, nothing too special. Dark has slowly been getting better. I hope they don't go back to the 12-match format because it's very overbearing. It is very overdone, and it's quite frankly not needed. Dynamite. Once again, Dynamite hit another home run show. Very good stuff right here. We had Tag Team Appreciation Night. We had very, very, very good tag team matches on this show. We had a match between Scorpio Sky and Cody for the TNT Championship, which was also very, very good for what it was. We had then had a promo with Maxwell Jacob Friedman where Jon Moxley interrupted. That was an excellent start to their build. We're going to go over everything. We started off with the Young Bucks versus the Dark Order. Dark Order then attacked the Bucks even before the match began. Matt came in sailing off the stage with a tope, taking out the Dark Order. Matt came in with a double clothesline. Bucks took over control. The Dark Order then isolated Matt. Matt with a spear to Uno. Grayson then pulled Nick down before the tag was made. Nick Jackson eventually got the hot tag. Slingshot face buster. Super kicks to Grayson and Uno. Grayson sold his super kick like he got fucking killed. Moonsault and a splash combo by the Bucks for 2. Grayson and Uno with their beautiful Cannonball 450 combo on the Bucks for a very close near fall. I love the 450 Cannonball combo. We then had Chasing the Dragon on Nick, but Matt was able to break it up. Matt was then thrown into the tunnel, and the other members of the Dark Order kept Matt at bay. And then we had Nick rolling up Uno for the win here. Very good matchup to kick off Dynamite, although I don't know why people are complaining that the Young Bucks won. The Young Bucks could very well be going into a feud with FTR, or a potential tag team title triple threat match with FTR and Kenny Omega and Adam Hangman Page. So they're not going to be losing anytime soon. And plus the Dark Order, they're 8-2. They won last week, and they're 8-2 currently right now. So why are you going to complain? It's really not that big of a deal. Dark Order only took their second tag team loss this year. And the year's almost over. What's with the complaining? I don't really get it. But the match itself, very, very good tag team match to kick off the show. Young Bucks look great. Dark Order look great. And I can definitely see the Dark Order getting some more traction and getting a little bit more of a push as the year ends. I do think that the Dark Order, Stu Grace and Evil Uno, I do think they will be tag team champions at some point. They will be tag team champions at some point. Could they be the ones to take the titles off Kenny and Hangman? I don't know. I don't know. Because they're not number one anymore. They're not number one anymore, and it looks like they're pushing FTR and the Young Bucks towards a match at All Out for the tag team titles. So then we had MJF walking down a hallway with his campaign crew. He shoved Lee Johnson out of the way, smiling and chewing his gum, similar to what happened back at TakeOver Brooklyn 2 when he was a security guard for Samoa Joe, and Samoa Joe shoved him back. So he was getting ready for his State of the Union address. MJF, he showcased some poll numbers on the Titantron. Now, obviously, they were bullshit statistics. They were fake statistics, but I just find it hilarious how he had him up on the Titantron, and Moxley was at like a negative 1,000, and he was at a 500% or some shit like that. I just find that comical. He was telling Nina to smile, which is great. So then he started addressing Dictator John and how he's not here, but hey, MJF is here. He says that John isn't here because he's afraid of change and he's afraid of MJF. He says John can't deal with another who's more talented than him. He also can't deal with someone who doesn't willingly look up at the lights for him. So then MJF got away from his little podium. He laid down, staring up at the lights. He goes, "Is this better, John? Are you in your comfort zone?" So then MJF said that John is not a leader. He says that you're a rabid dog chasing cars. He wouldn't know what to do if he got one, but there lies the issue, because he did catch a car. He caught the best car of all. He caught Pretty Platinum, the AEW World title. But he says that maybe it's time to fork over the keys to him meaning MJF, because everybody knows that we deserve better. So then Moxley's music hits. He sent Wardlow and everyone up the stands to try and stop Moxley, because he always comes out from the stands. But Moxley punk-faked MJF. He came out from the entranceway, blindsided MJF, hit the paradigm shift, and that was it. And then he leaves, took the microphone. He says that we're not going to be even until All Out when I teach you a lesson in humility. And it's going to be a very painful pill to swallow. This was an excellent segment. MJF is excellent as always. Moxley doing what Moxley does best. Arriving, raising hell, beating the shit out of someone, and then leaving. Simple, effective as you can get. Very, very, very nice start to the build towards their match at All Out. Scorpio Sky versus Cody for the TNT Championship. Side note, Mike Chioda, hired by AEW as a ref. Hey, good on Mike Chioda. I'm very happy to see that Mike Chioda has a job. This was very, very good for what it was. It went about 13 minutes. And Scorpio Sky, he was put over big time here. I thought that he was going to win the title at a certain point in time, and they did make it. They did have some close near falls where I actually thought that Scorpio Sky was going to win the TNT Championship. It could have gone either way. So Scorpio Sky, he hit a slingshot cutter on the ramp to Cody. Slingshot cutter over the top rope on the steel ramp. Cody was actually showcasing more of his heelish side, some cocky mannerisms and smirks. Justin Roberts announced him as the Prince of Pro Wrestling, so you can kind of see that heel turn could very well be coming. That heel turn could very well be on the horizon, which I actually have no problem with. I actually would love to see Cody as a heel. He has showcased that he can work a heel character because he's put up a heelish effort kind of against guys like Sonny Kiss and Darby Allin, Jungle Boy as well. So he can do both sides. He can do both sides of the coin. Ken Cody. I would definitely love to see him turn heel. But I don't mind him now. He's a very good babyface. So Cody then regained control with a big superplex, but Sky rolled him up for a damn near close 2 count right here. Cody hit the crossroads, but Sky kicked out. And at that point, I'm like, yeah, Sky could very well walk out the champion. They did a very good job at making me believe Sky could win. We then had a beautiful leaping flatliner by Scorpio Sky, but Cody was able to kick out. Cody then eventually hit another crossroads for the win. Very, very good match here with Cody and Scorpio Sky. Brody Lee then came up on the screen, and he says that you're going to put some respect on my name. And on August 22nd, I am taking that piece of gold. And he was holding the original TNT Championship, but I'll be sure to give you this one back. TikTok, time's up. And I do think that Cody is going to lose the championship to Brody Lee, and Brody Lee is going to be built up to drop that title to someone like a Darby Allin down the line. So then we had Jurassic Express versus Kenny and Hangman. This was a great tag team championship match, probably the best matchup of the night. We had Paige and Omega and Jungle Boy. They all got into a chop off going into commercial. Omega then came in with a beautiful V-trigger and Snapdragon suplex to Luchasaurus. Jungle Boy got caught with a Snapdragon on the floor when he went for a suicide dive. That was a very nice spot there. We had a Fisherman Buster for a 2. Paige and Omega, they double teamed both men. Powerbomb German suplex combo on Jungle Boy. Double suplex by Luchasaurus. Suicide dive on Omega. Swinging DDT on Adam Hangman Page and Luchasaurus, then threw Marco's stunt over the top rope, taking out Kenny, spinning roundhouse kick and a big back elbow to Page, but Omega broke up pinfall. Very close near falls here where we thought Jurassic Express was actually going to win the titles. Jungle Boy then got tossed into Luchasaurus. Big tope by Kenny, last call for the win. A great tag team title match here. Definitely one of Jurassic Express's best matchups to date, and I cannot wait to see what is going to come at All Out for Kenny and Hangman. Santana and Ortiz. They took the best friend's clothes and they drenched him in bleach. So obviously I believe that is a program that they are building towards at All Out, where we could potentially see Santana and Ortiz get the win there. Tully and Arn and the Rock and Roll Express, they were in the ring. The Bucks and FTR were there too. Bucks were thanking the Rock and Roll Express for everything. FTR says that he was marks for the Rock and Roll Express. Rock and Roll Express said the Bucks are the best, and then Arn said that FTR is the best. Tully said that being the champs makes you the best, but I don't see any gold around either of your waists. Talking to both FTR and the Bucks. He called out Arn for what happened at All Out before Shawn Spears eventually came out. Ricky Morton then gave Tully a little slap. We had all 4 men getting separated. And then FTR turned heel with a beautiful spike pile driver in which Ricky Morton sold the shit out of. So it seems as though we'll be getting a triple threat match between the Bucks and FTR and Kenny Omega and Adam Hangman Page. More likely than not, at All Out, which I do not mind. I actually can't wait for that. Hikaru Shida versus Heather Monroe. This was actually a fairly enjoyable squash. This was actually a fairly enjoyable 3-minute enhancement match. Heather Monroe, for the 3 minutes that this match was, I'm not going to lie, she didn't really look that bad. But the thing that was pissing me off is the fact that people are complaining that, oh, the women only got 2.5 minutes. The women's division right now sucks. Outside of Ford, Nyla, Swole, and Sheeta. Some people are saying, oh, you guys need to book the division better. How can they book the division better if they don't have talent to book? Every other women outside of the 4 women that I just named that they have signed suck. Britt Baker is coming back. She's okay. Chris Statlander is very good, but she's out with an injury. So they have 4 women right now. The division right now is 4 women. Why are you going to demand for better for the women when they don't have the talent to book? You really want to see a 10-minute shitty match on Dynamite? The women's division is not going to be fixed overnight. They haven't been around for a year yet. What they need to do, first and foremost, what they need to do is they need to first, they need to go out and they need to sign women who can actually wrestle. They need to sign great talent. Then you can start the in a sense, renaissance of the AEW women's division. And on top of that, they have a lot of their international women like Yuka Sakazaki and Shana and Riho. They're all quarantined in their own respective states. Who was it? Shana's quarantined in France. Riho and Yuka Sakazaki, they're quarantined in Japan. You're not going to build a women's division if some of your women's wrestlers who are actually talented, they're quarantined and they can't make it to the United States because of the global travel restrictions. And then outside of those 4 women that I just named, everyone else sucks. You're not going to put forth the women's division if you don't have an actual division to operate with. So why are you complaining that this was a 3-minute match and the women are getting 3 minutes on Dynamite when there is no women's division to book? The women's division sucks right now, and it's not because of the booking. It's because of the simple fact that they don't have the proper talent to book. Brandy is not going to book the women's division correctly. Kenny Omega is not going to book the women's division correctly. You need to find someone like a Medusa and a Alundra Blaze who can book the women's division correctly. And on top of that, you need to go out and sign talent. So you need to wait. It hasn't even been a year. It's going to take another 2, 3, 4 more years before the women's division is set down to a T. So stop fucking complaining about the women's division. They're not going to get healed. It's not going to get fixed in a couple of weeks. You need to wait a few more years. They need to go out and sign actual talent first, and then you need to find someone backstage who's good at booking the women's division. Stop fucking complaining and get over yourself. You know, you're complaining about the women's division. What about the tag team division in NXT? I don't see anyone fucking complaining about that. If you are complaining about the women's division, but you're not complaining about the tag team division in NXT, you don't have any fucking right to even open your mouth. We know the women's division sucks. Wait 2 to 3 to 4 more years. They need to sign talent, then they can start booking it correctly. Until then, this is what you're going to get. And it's the best route to go because we don't need to see a 10-minute, 15-minute shitty match between the women. But this was actually fairly enjoyable for what it was. We had Monroe going right after Sheeta. Sheeta came in with a high knee and a backbreaker. Sheeta and Monroe were actually trading some stiff forearm strikes. We had a modified stretch muffler where she had the leg bent back over her neck and then she wrenched on the right arm. And then afterwards, after Sheeta got the tap out win, she said, "I'm still waiting, bring it on." More likely than not, she'll be facing Nyla Rose at All Out. FTR versus Private Party. That was set on August 22nd, and yes, that's the same date as Takeover 30. So they got to load up that show. We also have the Elite versus the Dark Order, which is Silver, Angels, and Reynolds. We have the Women's Tag Team Cup Tournament Finals. Darby Allin will be in action. The Lucha Bros And The Butcher and the Blade vs. Jurassic Express and The Natural Nightmares is also on August 22nd. And then we got Cody versus Brody Lee for the TNT Championship. Orange Cassidy versus Chris Jericho. This went about 14 minutes. This was a very good match except for the ending. And a lot of people were actually talking about the ending. We had Cassidy going right after Jericho with a big pescado, diving DDT in the ring for a 2. Jericho, he eventually regained control with a big lion salt for a 2. We had a super kick by Cassidy and a crossbody for a 2. Cassidy reversed the walls of Jericho into an ankle lock. We had a code breaker for a 2. Jericho was going to use Floyd, but Kyoto took it from Jericho. Cassidy took advantage with a big Superman forearm, but the Inner Circle and the Best Friends, they were brawling on the stage. Not at ringside. They were banned from ringside, but they were brawling on the stage. Hager then dropped Cassidy with a big wrestling takedown hold. We then had Jericho covering Cassidy, but Cassidy still kicked out. Cassidy then with a roll-up on Jericho for the win. It was a very good match, but this roll-up, I'm not even sure what they were going for with this roll-up, but it looked very sloppy. It was like it was almost like a discombobulated, arm-trapped roll-up. I'm not sure what he was going for right here. I'm not sure if Jericho was out of position, but it was definitely rushed. And if you're asking me, they did not need the whole Best Friends and Inner Circle brawling with Jake Hager coming out and dropping Cassidy. I get that you want to build suspense for Cassidy, and I get that you want to build Cassidy as a sympathetic babyface. Trust me, I understand that, but that, in a sense, really took time away from what the ending really should have been. And if you're asking me, I would have just had Cassidy do a Superman forearm and beat Jericho straight up right then and there. That would have been much better. I would have just had that. But I understand what they were going for because they want to set up another matchup at All Out. But the ending looked rushed, very sloppy. The roll-up was discombobulated. It did not look good whatsoever. And I don't want to say it took away from the match because the match was very good itself. And Cassidy did get the win, as he should have gotten the win. But I don't know. It didn't really look good at all. It did not look good at all. I don't know what they were going for, but I'm assuming that we are going to get the rematch at All Out, and Cassidy is going to win. Glad that Cassidy won here. Shitty ending. Good match, but shitty ending. And I can definitely see Orange Cassidy in the World Championship title hunt after All Out. I can definitely see Orange Cassidy facing MJF for the World Championship. So, very good show for Dynamite, and outside of that ending, of course, outside of that shitty ending with Jericho and Cassidy, I think that we are at the point where if you are shitting on the overall product of AEW right now, you are not a legitimate wrestling fan. I don't consider you a real wrestling fan whatsoever. And I don't think anyone should consider anyone a real wrestling fan if they're shitting on the overall product of AEW. Trying to say it's a lackluster show and shit. What the fuck are you smoking? Fucking idiots you are. Let me just take a sip of this before we talk about NXT. So, we had Karrion Kross and Danny Burch starting off the show. This only went about 5 minutes. This was pretty much the same match that we got with Kross and Ciampa back at TakeOver in Your House. Fairly enjoyable. Danny Burch, he got his offense in, but Karrion Kross, of course he was going to win. Burch came in right after Kross. We had Kross just manhandling Burch with the big exploder suplex. Burch came back with a missile dropkick. Big German suplex, but Kross was unfazed. We had another German suplex and a clothesline for a 2. Burch, he immediately locked in the Kross face. But Kross, obviously, he came back with a Doomsday Saito. And Kross locked in the Kross jacket for the win. And that was that. Keith Lee then came out with a contract in hand. All business. Lee says, "This is on you. You denied my offer like the bitch that you are to stand face to face in the ring with me. And I begged and pleaded Regal for this match. Regal's name's on it. My name is on it. All it needs is your punk ass name." So then Cross took it. Or Scarlett took it. Scarlett took it. She took the pen out of the contract, and Cross was dead staring at Keith Lee. Signed the contract when staring at Keith Lee. Just scribbled some shit. Then we had Scarlett kissing the contract and laying it flat in the ring. So then Lee opened the contract and a fireball goes off in his face. Lee was blinded. He was pissed. He's screaming, "Where's Cross? Give me Cross." He didn't know what the fuck was going on, and they were trying to escort him to an ambulance. So this entire segment right here, even with Danny Burch and the match that him and Cross had, this entire opening segment and match was actually very good. The build towards Lee and Cross has been great, and I understand that the fireball, I understand that fits into the Karrion Kross Scarlett character. Trust me, I understand that, but if you're asking me, it wasn't really necessary. If you're asking me, it wasn't really necessary. It was cool. It was cool, but really wasn't that necessary. But the build towards Cross and Lee, and I'll say it again, too soon for Karrion Kross. It's too soon for Karrion Kross then. It's too soon for Karrion Kross now. It will never be the right time for Karrion Kross until next year. Not the right time. But the build has been excellent, and I can't wait to see what they do at TakeOver 30. It just sucks. It sucks that Keith Lee's going to be a transitional champion, and I had a feeling that more likely than not, Keith Lee was supposed to be the man that was going to take the title off of Adam Cole the entire time. But Triple H had no choice but to rush the NXT Championship to Keith Lee, simply because of the fact that Vince McMahon is rushing Karrion Kross into the World Championship title scene. It's pretty much it. It's pretty much it. This is not Triple H's doing. Vince McMahon, you take a look at everything that Vince McMahon has done in NXT thus far with Charlotte Flair and using Drake Maverick's firing as a real-life storyline. Then you had Sasha coming in. Then you had the double championship match. Then you had Robert Stone puking. Then you had the lack of focus on tag team wrestling in NXT. I would not be surprised if Vince is behind. Matter of fact, Vince McMahon is behind Karrion Kross's push. I am thoroughly convinced. There is nothing that anyone is going to say that is going to convince me otherwise that Vince is not behind Karrion Kross's push. He is. End of discussion. He is. So then we had Killian Dane versus Drake Maverick. Yes. I don't know what the fuck was up here. I really don't know what the fuck was up here. The match started during the break. Lee was being transported into an ambulance. Then the Undisputed Era was shown arriving in the parking lot. Undisputed Era then attacked Maverick and Dane before Cole took the microphone. He said, "Hey, Pat McAfee, I know you're watching. And I know for a fact that you think you're hot stuff, but let me tell you something. Pat isn't special." So he's talking to the crowd at home. He said, "I held the NXT title for over 400 days. You're stepping into the ring with that guy. Adam Cole is special." And he says that he dares Pat to show up next week, get in this ring, and stare down Cole so Cole can tell him that he's going to whoop his ass. He said Pat's going to realize that he's in way over his head and there's nothing he can do about it. And that is undisputed. I could have done easily without the Drake Maverick Killian Dane match. I don't understand why we needed this match when we know damn well that neither man is going anywhere. I don't understand why you're putting Drake Maverick and Killian Dane out there and it's just going to end in a DQ. I fucking hate that. I fucking hate the strategy where you use a match just to set up a promo. Just have the Undisputed Era come out to their own music and have Adam Cole cut the promo that he did. There is no reason to do a match between Drake Maverick and Killian Dane. No reason. Now the promo itself with Adam Cole was very good. I am not going to deny anything. I even saw what Pat McAfee said on the Pat McAfee show, and I saw the way that he came off and the vibe that he was giving off. Pat McAfee, I gotta give Pat McAfee his due. Pat McAfee knows how to play a dick. You know, it's almost like he almost reminds me a little bit of myself. Pat McAfee almost reminds me a little bit of myself. He almost reminds me of DJ Storms. He almost reminds me of when I'm in my element. I mean, obviously, not now because I'm a little bit more calm. I'm a little bit more in tune. I've been a little bit more humanized as of lately, if you know what I'm saying. But when I got my sunglasses on and I'm in my element and I got my Italian peace sign going on. I'm going DJ Storm. You know what I mean? I'm in my element there, and I know what I'm doing, and I'm feeling myself. Pat McAfee, he's reminding me of myself when I was in the peak of my DJ Storms, when it just started to take off, when the DJ Storms brand really started to take off in 2019, and I was in my DJ Storms element. Pat McAfee's reminding me of that. I'm not going to take anything away from the promo work between Adam Cole and Pat McAfee. What they've been doing has been excellent. The sense of realism that I get, it's like I look at it, and if you did not tell me that this was scripted television, I would legitimately believe that Pat McAfee and Adam Cole legitimately hate each other in real life. They're doing a really good job at making you believe that they legitimately want to beat the shit out of each other. And I respect that. I respect that. Now, Pat McAfee, supposedly he's been training, and he said that he's not going to embarrass himself, and he knows what he's doing. Supposedly he knows what he's doing. I'm not going to ever discredit the work that Adam Cole and Pat McAfee have been doing, and for all we know, it could be a decent match. For all we know, it could be a decent match, and I hope it is, because I don't want to shit all over this. I don't want to shit all over it at TakeOver, so I hope that Pat McAfee and Adam Cole, I hope it turns out to be a decent match, but I am not going to sit here and say that this is a great decision, because it's not. I'm not just going to ignore the fact that this goes against everything that NXT stands for. And again, it goes back to Vince McMahon and his Veruca mentality. I want it now. He thinks that what they did is going to drive up the ratings, and it's not. That was pretty much that. I will not hesitate to shit all over this match if it ends up being a shitty match. So then we had Santos Escobar versus Tyler Breeze. So Santos, he targeted the leg of Breeze. Big rising knee strike before Breeze came back with a barrage of forearm strikes. Supermodel kick before Legado del Fantasma came out. We had a Phantom Driver for the win. Nothing special here. Fandango came out with a kendo stick in a sling. Legado del Fantasma shut him down pretty quickly. And then Swerve came out and he sent them running. I'm assuming that this is going to eventually lead to Swerve and Escobar at TakeOver 30, which I definitely wouldn't mind. Matter of fact, I would love to see that match. Mia Yim versus Indy Hartwell. Nothing special. Indy Hartwell is terrible. This match felt like it went on forever. Modified Fujiwara armbar for the tap-out win. Didn't look good at all. I don't know where the fuck Mia Yim goes. Matter of fact, I'm surprised that she didn't win the triple-branded Battle Royal on SmackDown, which I'm going to talk about, and I got a lot to fucking say on that. Damian Priest versus Bronson Reed. This was actually a damn good match for what it was right here. We had some swift back-and-forth counters between Bronson Reed and Damian Priest. They actually worked fairly well together. This was a very nice back-and-forth right here. We had a nice back elbow by Priest, swift kicks and forearms. Reed came back with a spine buster. Priest was caught with a fall-away slam and a senton for a 2. Priest tried for a suplex numerous times, but he couldn't get it. He ended up finally getting the broken arrow for a 2. We had a big suplex by Reed. Priest was caught with a power slam when he jumped off the middle rope in a springboard type maneuver, but Reed caught him in a power slam in one fluid motion. That looked very nice. Then we had Reed going up to the top for the tsunami splash, but he missed. Reed then reversed the reckoning into a roll-up for the win. Yes, Bronson Reed gets the rub here against Damian Priest in a damn good match. Bronson Reed, I can definitely see Bronson Reed as a potential North American champion next year. Bronson Reed, he's doing some great stuff. Bronson Reed's doing some great stuff. Bronson Reed is very, very, very good in the ring. Bronson Reed, I can definitely see Bronson Reed in a bigger role by next year. Bronson Reed's going to be something special. We had Aaliyah and Mercedes Martinez versus Kane Carter and Casey Catanzaro. So Robert Stone tried to recruit Casey. I love me some Casey. I don't know why. I don't know why. I don't know. Casey Catanzaro, and it's not just because she's from Jersey. It's not just because I've met her sister before. But Casey Catanzaro, special place in my heart. I don't know. Casey Catanzaro, hit me up. Come on. I mean, you're not dating Ricochet anymore. I mean, come on, Casey. I don't know why. I don't know why. I fucking love Casey Catanzaro. Sue me. The girl has a fucking amazing smile. I love her fucking smile. So, Aaliyah and Martinez, swift double team moves before Casey got the hot tag. Eventually, we had the air raid crash by Martinez for the win, and Aaliyah and Martinez get the win. I can definitely see them being built up to take the women's tag team titles off of Sasha and Bayley. I definitely wouldn't mind that. So you got them. You got Shotzi and Tegan. You got... Who else do you got? You got Liv Morgan and Ruby Riott. So you actually got a fairly decent women's tag team division there. Excluding the fucking Iconics. So Rhea Ripley and Shotzi, they came out, they took out Martinez and Aaliyah. I'm assuming that a match between them is coming down the line. Robert Stone's fucking terrible as per usual, but he was actually a little less terrible this week. Mercedes Martinez was the main focus. I actually didn't mind Aaliyah here either. Candice and Johnny were at home. Candice was telling a story to her bulldog, said that Tegan should mind her own damn business. Johnny said that next week, he's going to win, and he'll become the first ever 2-time North American champion. So next week, we got Johnny Gargano and Ridge Holland. Pat McAfee and Adam Cole will meet face-to-face. We got Legado del Fantasma versus Breezango and Swerve. And next week, we got Finn Balor versus the Velveteen Dream. Yes, Patrick Clark. Velveteen Dream returned. Kushida, Cameron Grimes and the Velveteen Dream faced off in a North American Championship qualifier. Now, this received a lot of negative attention. Because the people of the community actually believed that Velveteen Dream's allegations were true. But what they did not see, and what I actually saw, and I would like to shout out my friend Ken Tahoe from California. Shout out to him. I know he's watching. And I know that he's actually been going through a tough time. He recently just came back to Wrestling Twitter because he took a break for his mental health. So before I get into what I'm about to say, my thoughts and prayers go out to you, Ken. I hope everything is going well with the family. I hope everything is going well with your friends. I hope everything is going well with you. I hope everything is smoothed over, and I hope everything is running smoothly. I hope everything in California dials down a bit. I hope the cases go down. I hope they finally get back to some sense of normality. Wear your damn mask as per usual. But Ken Tahoe and myself. Ken Tahoe, he brought a certain DM that was leaked to my attention of one of Velveteen Dream's perpetrators saying that she lied about Velveteen Dream, and she was one of the main perpetrators with Jacob Schmidt, and he lied about Velveteen Dream as well. So that leaked DM was all over Twitter, and no one was saying anything about it. You have to imagine that WWE must have seen that. And if they brought Velveteen Dream back, please don't be one of these people that are saying, oh, you see, WWE is a safe haven for people like the Velveteen Dream and predators like the Velveteen Dream. You can't be so dumb as to think that there wasn't an investigation over the course of the last 2 months. You can't be that dumb. Please. Vince McMahon, you really think that Vince McMahon is all buddy-buddy with a guy like Patrick Clark? Do you realize who Patrick Clark is? He is a Triple H project. He's an NXT creation. When has Vince McMahon ever been buddy-buddy with an NXT creation? Vince McMahon's mentality is, if I didn't create it, it's shit. Vince McMahon is not buddy-buddy with Patrick Clark. If a situation like this arose, Vince McMahon would fire Patrick Clark on the spot if this was true. Matter of fact, never mind fire him. Velveteen Dream, if this shit was true, he would have been Chris Benoit. We all know what Chris Benoit did. We all know what happened to Chris Benoit. He was completely erased from the annals of WWE history. If Velveteen Dream and what he did was true, he would have had to have been erased completely from NXT. They would have taken out everything regarding Velveteen Dream from the network, from WWE's website, from all of WWE's past content. Velveteen Dream would not have been mentioned on WWE television ever again if that was the case. Velveteen Dream would have received the Chris Benoit treatment if what he did was true. You can't honestly tell me that there wasn't an investigation over the course of the last 2 months when he was out. Please. It was probably, more likely than not, there was an investigation between Vince, Triple H, Patrick Clark himself, the police, the parents of these individuals, of the kids. You can't honestly tell me that there wasn't. Please. Vince McMahon is not buddy-buddy with Patrick Clark. When has Vince McMahon ever been buddy-buddy with an NXT creation? Outside of Randy Orton, Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar, Alexa Bliss, and Charlotte Flair, who can you honestly tell me that's employed by the WWE right now that Vince McMahon would sweep anything under the rug for? Who? I can't name anyone. I can't. Velveteen Dream hasn't drawn Vince any major bucks. Velveteen Dream hasn't made Vince all of this money. Jimmy Snuka made Vince McMahon all the money when Jimmy Snuka was in his prime. And that's why Vince McMahon paid off that police officer to let Jimmy Snuka off the hook. We all know what happened with Jimmy Snuka and Nancy Argentino. Vince McMahon paid off the police officer because Jimmy Snuka was buddy-buddy with Vince McMahon, and Jimmy Snuka made Vince McMahon all of this money. So Vince McMahon told the police officer to sweep it under the rug, so that way Jimmy Snuka can continue to make him money. But has Patrick Clark made Vince McMahon all this money? Has Patrick Clark been a mainstream grab? Has he been a ratings draw? No. So do you honestly think that Vince McMahon would try and sweep this shit under the rug for Patrick Clark? No. And just because an investigation wasn't made public doesn't mean that there wasn't one. Common shit. It's common shit. Common sense. Now, I will say it was way too early. Way too early to bring him back to television. Way too early. Way too early to bring him back to television. He should not have been brought back to television this early. Matter of fact, they should have waited until the beginning of 2021 to bring him back. If they brought him back, then the investigation must have been complete. They must have seen that DM, and they must have concluded with the police officers and everyone that this wasn't true. See, if it was true, he would have received the same fate as Michael Elgin, Joey Ryan, Marty Scurll, and Travis Banks, and Ligero, and Jack Gallagher, and Joe Coffey. But he didn't. He didn't. His allegations are more than likely false, just like what happened with Matt Riddle. And I understand it's going to cause negative attention, but honest to God, what do you want them to do? You really think that there wasn't an investigation? Please, anyone, tell me, do you guys honestly think that there wasn't an investigation? So, we had the match itself. Kushida with a tornado DDT on Dream on the floor. We had a big right-handed Dream. Dream with the super kick to Grimes. All three men were down. Dream took out Grimes. Kushida with a cannonball taking out the Dream. Kushida then locked in a hoverboard lock on Dream. Dream held him up. Grimes with the cave-in to Kushida. And Grimes wins. I expected Grimes to win. And Dream slapped Kushida afterwards. Finn Balor came out and stared Dream down. So I do believe that the Dream and Ridge Holland are going to advance the TakeOver. I do not think it's going to be Finn Balor and Gargano. I do think Finn Balor and Gargano are possibly going to go into a program with each other going into TakeOver, because Finn Balor and Gargano, they're above the North American Championship. They don't need it. They don't need it. Cameron Grimes gets the win. And Cameron Grimes, he looks to win that North American Championship and take it to the moon. I am not going to say it in his southern accent. But outside of Priest and Reed, and then outside of the return of the Velveteen Dream, it was a very lackluster NXT. Very, very unexciting. It wasn't necessarily terrible, but it wasn't anything that we're going to invest our time in. And that was pretty much that. NXT, they've been slacking a little bit the past few weeks. They've been slacking just a little bit the past few weeks. I'm not sure what it is. It seems as though after the Great American Bash, they just gave up. Now, I expect TakeOver to be good, but it seems as though the disorganization is starting to seep into NXT. Not really sure what's going on there. SmackDown. Speaking of disorganization, SmackDown, oh my fucking god. I don't even know what to say at this rate as far as SmackDown goes. This is probably one of the most disorganized SmackDowns I could fucking remember. Big E and John Morrison, they were getting set for their matchup before Retribution came out, and there was more members. So, they attacked Big E and Morrison. Corey and Cole, they were sent running. Miz came out to then help Morrison as they were going into commercial. So they added more members. I guess WWE realized that it would be stupid if Dominik Dijakovic got revealed as one of the members after Leon Ruff was being portrayed as a stand-in. Because Leon Ruff is short. Dominik Dijakovic is 6'6". Still terrible television. So the locker room, they were in the back talking. Big E was trying to give this big motivational speech before Sheamus. He interrupted Big E. He got in his face. I didn't pay attention to anything that was said. So Sasha and Bayley, they came out and they were defending. They announced that they were defending the women's tag team titles at Payback. And that was the first acknowledgement of Payback that we actually got. So the talent acknowledged it. The announcers didn't even say anything until later on in the show. So the talent was part of the revelation of Payback pay-per-view. Great. Disorganization at its finest. So then they started to introduce all the participants in the Battle Royal. They were ring announcers. Asuka then came out and she attacked Bayley and Sasha. So the match started and there were all these rapid-fire eliminations back and forth. It came down to Asuka, Shayna, Tegan, and Dana. Tegan Nox was eliminated by Dana Brooke. Right then and there, you know what Vince thinks of NXT. Dana was never eliminated. Shayna and Asuka eventually eliminated Dana. Sasha and then Bayley got involved, and then Asuka landed on Sasha and Bayley after Baszler tried to eliminate Asuka, and Baszler was just staring at Asuka like a fucking idiot. And then Baszler was eliminated by Asuka. Yes, you heard that correctly. Asuka won the Battle Royal, and Asuka is going to face Bayley at SummerSlam for the SmackDown Women's Championship. I can't even begin to tell you how dumb this looks. I cannot even begin to tell you how fucking dumb this looks. You have Asuka, who's already in a Raw Women's Championship match against Sasha. Now she's in a SmackDown Live Women's Championship match against Bayley. After we've already seen this match twice. Matter of fact, we've seen both Asuka and Sasha and Asuka and Bayley twice this summer. The first two times we saw Sasha and Asuka, we had two shitty endings that ruined both matches. And then the first two times that we saw Asuka and Bayley, Asuka beat Bayley twice. Asuka beat Bayley when they were both champions, and then Asuka recently just beat Bayley on Raw. You have her already beat Bayley on Raw this past Monday, and now she's getting another match with Bayley at SummerSlam? You can't get creative with it? And don't tell me this shit is creative. Please don't. This shit is not creative. We have seen Asuka and Bayley twice already this summer. We've seen it twice already this summer, and WWE has already placed the unimportant stamp on Sasha Banks and Bayley and the Asuka storyline because they've given it away on free television. Again, similar to what I stated back with Rollins, and I did the whole rant on Seth Rollins earlier in the show about him and saying that the fans lack patience. They're doing the same shit over and over and over again. So what story are you actually trying to tell? What story are you actually trying to tell if you're doing the same exact shit over and over and over again? I don't understand. You're telling me you couldn't have done Bianca Belair? You could. Matter of fact, Bianca Belair should have been on SmackDown this entire time. Monday Night Raw already has enough women. They're just not pushing them. You couldn't have done Shayna Baszler? You couldn't have done Shotzi Blackheart or Tegan Nox and actually have gotten created with that? Because the SmackDown Live Women's Division, it needs a shot of adrenaline in the arm. Hell, I would have even taken the predictable route. I would have even taken Naomi as a predictable route. I actually called Naomi to win this. I'm shocked that she didn't. I'm actually shocked that she didn't. And Naomi deserves better was actually trending this morning. So it seems as though WWE apparently said, fuck the Naomi hashtag. How is this making the women's division better? Asuka is now taking up a spot from someone else at SummerSlam, unless you're going to do a triple threat match and merge the divisions, which a lot of people have been saying. But then again, whether they merge the divisions or not, we're still going to get the same shit. It doesn't matter whether the divisions are merged or separately. We're going to get the same shit that we're currently getting right now because guess who's in charge? Vince, don't care how, I want it now, McMahon. He's in charge. When he's in charge, we're going to get the same shit. And I don't even understand what is it with the WWE. They constantly only focus on a select handful of superstars. Literally, on Raw, in the main event scene, it's only Drew McIntyre and Randy Orton that they're focusing on. In the women's division, it's Sasha, Bayley, and Asuka that they're focusing on. In the tag team division, it's like no one. You're only focusing on, what, Cesaro and Nakamura. Or on Raw, it's the Street Profits. No one else. Nobody else. In the mid-card division, they're only focusing on AJ Styles, and they're only making him important. They're only making him legitimate. I don't understand. I don't understand. I really don't understand. How is this going to make the division better? If you don't focus on other women, if you don't focus on women that actually deserve the opportunity, if you don't focus on women that can actually wrestle, and you focus on the same women over and over and over again instead of actually giving us a chance to see what new women in the spotlight can do, like Naomi, like Baszler, like Bianca, like Tegan, like Shotzi, then how is the division supposed to get better? I guarantee you that they're going to have Asuka lose to Bayley, and Asuka is going to get back the Raw Women's title from Sasha Banks. And then, I'm going to ask the question, if you were just going to take the title off of Sasha immediately at SummerSlam, what was the point of taking it off of Asuka to begin with and giving it to Sasha? What was the point? I guarantee you right now that they're already starting the breakup of Sasha and Bayley. And we're probably going to get the match sometime in the fall, and Sasha's going to win the SmackDown Women's title sometime in the fall. They're not even waiting for a bigger stage. They're probably going to waste it away at a Clash of Champions. They're probably going to waste it at a Hell in a Cell. They'll probably waste it at a tables, ladders, and chairs, and that's it. They're going to waste it. They're going to absolutely waste it. Guarantee you that Asuka's going to lose, or Asuka's going to lose to Bayley, and she's going to beat Sasha, and then Sasha and Bayley are going to lose the tag team titles at Payback to whoever. Guarantee it. I guarantee it. And then all that's going to be left is the SmackDown Live Women's Championship. They can't even get that right. They can't even get Sasha and Bayley holding all the gold. They can't even get that right. They've been doing the same shit with Sasha and Bayley the entire fucking summer. It's always Sasha and Bayley versus the Kabuki Warriors or Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross. That's it. That's it. Dumb as fuck. Uncreative as shit. I don't know what to tell you. Terrible. This doesn't help the division at all. This doesn't help the division at all. This is not going to help Asuka. This is actually worse for Asuka, and this is actually worse for Sasha and Bayley because people are going to start complaining that we've already seen this time and time again. They're going to make us hate Asuka. They're going to make us hate Sasha and Bayley because we've seen them in the spotlight for far too long doing the same shit over and over again. That's why we hated Rollins. That's why we hated Becky. That's why we hated Kofi. Because they were all doing the same shit over and over again during their title reigns. WWE does the same shit over and over again. They can't help but push the same people over and over again, and they wonder why no one is taken seriously. They wonder why no one is taken as a legitimate threat. They wonder why no one is over in the way that they want them to be over. Moving on. Mandy Rose. Mandy Rose, my gorgeous peach, as Otis says. She addressed Sonya Deville. She said that everyone, just like Sonya, has called her just a pretty face. She talked about working 3 jobs. She talked about gaining the opportunity at the WWE through Tough Enough. She thanked Sonya for reminding her that she's more than just a pretty face. And Mandy challenged Sonya to a hair versus hair match at SummerSlam. And then later on, Sonya Deville accepted. Mandy Rose said that she promises her it will get ugly. I don't understand why it's a hair versus hair match. A hair versus hair match is one of the most outdated concepts in pro wrestling right now. How does that fit into the current mold of what wrestling should be about? You take a look at what All Elite Wrestling is doing and what NXT used to do. They did what NXT, or what WWE, what professional wrestling in general should be about. Sports-driven, non-cringy storylines, stipulations that actually make sense, stipulations that fit the severity of what pro wrestling should be about. And here we are getting a hair versus hair match between Sonya Deville and Mandy Rose. Yeah, like, I'm really going to take Mandy Rose or Sonya Deville seriously bald. I gotta watch Sonya Deville wrestle bald after SummerSlam, or possibly Mandy Rose wrestle bald after SummerSlam? Really? I actually pitched three matches a couple of weeks ago. I pitched 3 matches that would have been a hell of a lot better than a hair versus hair match and would have fit the rivalry, which I still don't know why it's even continuing. Especially after Sonya beat Mandy twice. It goes to show you that WWE literally is uncreative as shit, that they have nobody else for Sonya and Mandy Rose to feud with. I pitched 3 more matches that would have been a hell of a lot better than a hair versus hair match. I pitched a no-holds-barred match. I pitched a false count anywhere match. I pitched a last woman standing match. All of those matches are a hell of a lot better than a hair versus hair match. They fit the mold of what wrestling should be, and it would be a great way to end the rivalry, or you can have Sonya Deville go over. That way, she doesn't have to wrestle bald, or Mandy doesn't have to wrestle bald from here on out. Doesn't really make any sense that you're doing hair versus hair, whether or not these two agreed with it. Because at the end of the day, no one, and I'm telling you right now, no one is going to take Mandy or Sonya seriously after SummerSlam if you're watching them bald. It worked. It worked in the past with guys like CM Punk. It worked in the past with guys like Sylvester Lefort and Enzo Amore, and they had that shit going on. But Marcus Louis ended up getting his hair shaved. So, it worked then, but it does not work now. It does not work now. We don't need to see Mandy Rose bald, Sonya Deville bald. We don't need to see that shit. We need to see these two women actually fighting for something that matters. Fighting for something that matters. Not fighting to get each other's hair cut. They should be fighting to actually move up in the rankings so that way one of them can become a SmackDown Women's Champion later on in the future. Last woman standing match, no holds barred, or falls count anywhere. All would have been better decisions than a fucking hair versus hair match. Now, again, the feud really shouldn't even be continuing. I don't necessarily mind it. But I'm interested to see what they do, but I do not want to see a fucking hair versus hair match. Sheamus versus Chad Gable. This was quick. Sheamus with a bro kick after a white noise for the win, and that was that. Styles, he came out with a phenomenal intercontinental statistics system, or PISS, PISS. You know that was a Vince McMahon joke right there. He actually came out with Joseph Park. Joseph Park was the highlight of SmackDown. Fuck Braun Strowman and Bray Wyatt. Fucking AJ Styles. Fuck Jeff Hardy. Fuck Sonya and Mandy. I'm here to watch Joseph Park. Side note, when I used to watch Impact in 2012, I sound like an old geezer. When I was your age, son. But in all seriousness, when I used to watch Impact in 2012, I was actually a big fan of Joseph Park. Matter of fact, Joseph Park was actually named one of the best characters of that year by the Wrestling Observer newsletter. I actually enjoyed what Joseph Park had to offer back in 2012. So, Styles ran down the people that he beat. He says he just wants to enjoy being Intercontinental Champion. It's time to show the statistics. We'll see who's number one. Of course, Styles was number one. And then nobody was number two. Hardy then came out. Jeff Hardy, that is, came out. And he said that Sheamus robbed him of an opportunity to advance in the tournament. And for all we know, it could have been them two in the finals, meaning Styles and Hardy. He says that Styles versus Hardy sounds mega cool. That sounded mega cringe. He asked Styles for a title match, one-on-one. Styles said, hell no. Styles says this ain't no pity party. Hardy then attacked Styles and wrote his name on the board. And that was that. And I was expecting that match to take place at SummerSlam, but apparently we got the match next week, 2 days before SummerSlam, which I don't understand why. Styles has not had one title defense on a pay-per-view. Styles has not had one title defense on a pay-per-view, and you're pretty much booking this match simply to drive up the ratings. Meanwhile, you have already tried this multiple times before with a championship match. You've tried Styles versus Riddle. You tried Styles versus Metalik. You tried Bayley versus Nikki Cross. You've been giving away these championship matches. You tried Apollo versus MVP. You've been giving away these championship matches on free television, and they haven't worked. None of them drove up the ratings. So what makes you think that Styles and Hardy in an Intercontinental title match is going to drive up the ratings above a 2 million? I didn't even check the SmackDown Live ratings today. I'm actually going to check them after I get out of here, which is going to be very, very soon. But can you imagine? I wouldn't be surprised if they went lower. Yeah, because SmackDown is really going to see a sudden increase in ratings. You're going to see a sudden increase in ratings because Jeff Hardy and AJ Styles are fighting in an Intercontinental Championship match. Meanwhile, it was proven before that it doesn't work. The literal definition of insanity, doing the same shit over and over again and expecting different results. Vince McMahon, don't care how, I want it now. I should literally, you know what I'm gonna do? I should literally just get a fucking, I've said I should get a tape recorder numerous amount of times. You know what? Fuck the WWE Network up there. Fuck the WWE Network. I should play Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. I should play that. I should play Veruca's song every single time I talk about Vince McMahon. And I can have Veruca on the screen up there. I want to lock it all up in my pocket. It's my bar of chocolate. Give it to me now. I want the world. I want the whole world. I want today. I want tomorrow. That's Vince McMahon for you. I'll sing it on. I'll even sing it in Vince McMahon's voice. I want a party with room full of laughter, 10,000 tons of ice cream, and if I don't get the things I am after, I'm going to scream. If I can make myself laugh. That's what I'm going to do. I'll put Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory up there. Veruca's song every single time. I want it now, every single time I talk about Vince. So after that, you gotta laugh at yourself every now and then. So after that, we got Gran Metalik versus Shinsuke Nakamura. Because we got Cesaro and Lindsay last week. Now we get Gran Metalik and Shinsuke this week. So Metalik, he got hit with a big enziguri, big crossbody to Nakamura, reverse sling blade, and a springboard back elbow for a 2. It was a decent little sprint, but Cesaro and Nakamura looked like idiots because Kalisto came back. Kalisto returned, which I have no problem with. I like Kalisto. So him and Lindsay took out Cesaro, but apparently the ref didn't call for a DQ, but you apparently called for a DQ last week with Shayna Baszler and Sasha when Bayley and Asuka were fighting, and they didn't even touch the competitors that were in the match. But you didn't call DQ here. Metalik with a big diving elbow for the win, and that was it. Happy to see Kalisto back, but this was 50-50 booking at its finest. This was 50-50 booking at its finest, and this was nothing more than them trying to set up a tag team title match, more likely than not at Payback. I do not see this match taking place at SummerSlam. I see this match taking place at Payback, and that was pretty much that. You have a champion lose on television. Meanwhile, Lucha House Party, they can't lose because they're being built up to fight for the tag team championships. You're booking yourselves into a corner. How about you actually have the Lucha House Party go out and face actual tag teams like Miz and Morrison and Heavy Machinery and actually book them to win? That way, you don't have to have the champions take a loss on TV. So Riddle was being interviewed. Gable came in and he apologized to Riddle for attacking him. Corbin then attacked Riddle. Gable looked stunned, and that was pretty much that. So it looks like the partnership with Gable and Corbin is not going to actually take place because Gable did not look pleased with Corbin's attack. Alexa Bliss was interviewed. She said that she got to know the man behind the monster, talking about Braun Strowman, of course. She said that we became the best of friends. She says that being around the Fiend is terrifying, yet compelling. She didn't say anything when she was asked about Braun's comments, and they went to commercial. Big E versus John Morrison. We had a big splash to Morrison on the apron. Otis came in. The lights started flickering again. The entire roster started to come out to watch the match. Retribution was in the back. They started beating the shit out of referees. They barricaded themselves in the locker room. They actually ripped some guy out of a fucking toilet, I believe. And then, what was it? Jessica Carr. She started to tell the roster, go to the back, Retribution's in the back. I think there was like 10 to 15 of them. So back in the ring, Big E wins with the stretch muffler, and then afterwards, Sheamus came out to broke kick Big E. So I'm assuming that Sheamus and Big E is the interim program that they're having Big E in for the time being, which should actually be very, very interesting because Sheamus, he is a tough fighting Irishman, and I'm actually very interested to see how that plays out in favor of Big E. I actually think that's going to be a nice feud to help build Big E up. He already has 2 wins and get a win over Sheamus. I definitely wouldn't mind that. That should be very interesting. Although it kind of sucks for Sheamus because he's kind of stuck in a glorified enhancement talent position. Hardy beat him. Big E more likely than not is going to beat him. So, kind of sucks for him. But we'll see what happens there. So then we had the superstars going to the back to try and keep Retribution at bay. And Retribution was gone, a hit-and-run attack, and that was pretty much that. I don't know where the fuck they're going with Retribution. Retribution is a complete waste of time. It looked like Ember Moon was actually a part of Retribution there for a minute. Not sure if you noticed, but it really did look like Retribution had the War Goddess in there, which I don't want to see whatsoever. I don't want to see this Retribution shit at all. Once again, cliche thing to say, but again, desperate attempt for ratings, desperate attempt at being edgy, desperate attempt at driving up the interest level. Desperate. I really don't know what else I could say about Retribution. I am not giving them a chance. It is stupid. It is ridiculous. It really just seems like WWE is just trying to force it upon anyone. Just to try and be edgy. And then in the main segment of the show, Braun Strowman came out. He was bald. So we got bald Strowman now. He said he was going to be the most evil son of a bitch this earth has laid eyes on. And he said that he's going to eviscerate the Fiend before Alexa Bliss came out. And he was just staring, cold dead stare. Didn't even look at Alexa Bliss. So Alexa Bliss says that they need to have a conversation. She said that this isn't the Braun that she knows. Says that Braun says that everyone that has come in contact with the Fiend changes, including you. He says to get the hell out of his ring. He wants the Fiend. So then Bliss said to look at her when she's talking to him, and she started slapping Braun. Braun was unfazed. He hoisted Alexa Bliss up. The lights started going out. Braun started to say, "Where are you, Fiend?" So then he just tossed Alexa Bliss up in the air. Lights went out. Similar situation to what happened with fucking Ric Flair on Monday Night Raw, which I don't know why the fuck they're doing this, because Alexa Bliss, she can't take a bump. I understand Ric Flair's 70 years old, but now Alexa Bliss can't take a bump? Isn't that her job? Isn't she supposed to be a professional wrestler? Come on. Me and my dad used to wrestle when I was like 12 years old. When I was like a fucking addict. When I was just so embroiled in it. And I always wanted to wrestle, and I was collecting these action figures and playing cards and fucking miniature figures. My dad, he used to choke slam me all the time into the fucking pool. And I don't know if you guys have ever fell flat back first into a pool. It fucking hurts. When you slap water, water's fucking thick. Water is thick and it fucking hurts. I don't know about you, but it does fucking hurt. It really does. So, Bliss, after she was thrown 10 feet in the air, we then had the lights go out. Fiend appeared in the ring behind Alexa Bliss. Braun appeared on the screen laughing. And then the Fiend started laughing and Braun screamed as the show went off the air and the Fiend said, "Let me in." And that was that. The main segment was probably the best segment on the show, simply because of the fact that Alexa Bliss got tossed 10 feet in the air, and I'm always going to say that that's positive. But this was a waste of time. Was SmackDown? I didn't even watch 205 Live. I didn't even fucking watch 205 Live. I was just, I couldn't. I couldn't. I'm going to get the fuck out of here. I'm really going to get the fuck out of here. It's late. I appreciate all of you that stayed with me for this long. That wraps up the Lightning Flash update. I'd like to thank each and every single one of you who tuned into this video. Like, comment, subscribe. Check out all the links in the description. 3 videos coming next week, as was the Rewind for TakeOver and the Rewind for SummerSlam. I'm going to see if I can get the Rewind for SummerSlam up for you guys. I am starting college, though, on the 24th. I'm not sure if it's going to be online or not, but I will keep you guys updated. Till next time, ladies and gentlemen, I'm DJ Storms. This has been the Lightning Flash update. SmackDown sucks. Raw sucks. Ugh, Christ. Let me just take one more sip, and then we'll sign off. Don't care how. I want it now. I'm sorry. Have a good one.